This is The Space Shot, episode 123 for September 14th, 2017. Missions End Eve. Hey everyone, welcome to The Space Shot, your daily space history, pop culture, and news fix. I'm John Molnix. I've got a quick update on the timeline for Cassini's end of mission. At 3:58 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time today, September 14th, Cassini will take its final images ever for the mission. A short time later, the spacecraft will turn towards Earth, starting a downlink on the Deep Space Network that will last until the end of mission. I will share links to watch the live stream of the end of mission that's tomorrow morning, so watch Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram today for that link. I'll also be posting it in the show notes for the podcast. Now for Cassini Countdown number 1, Touchdown. On January 14th, 2005, the Huygens lander touched down on the surface of Titan, giving us an unprecedented look at this captivating moon. This was the first, and so far only time, a spacecraft has touched down on a world in the outer solar system. Even though the Huygens mission was just a brief part of the overall Cassini mission, it marked an incredible milestone for Cassini's mission at Saturn. Titan is a massive moon. It's larger than Mercury, and it's the second largest moon in our solar system. According to NASA, Titan is, quote, the only moon in our solar system that has clouds and a dense atmosphere, mostly nitrogen and methane. It is also the only place in the solar system to have an Earth-like cycle of liquids flowing across its surface. Much of what we know about Titan is thanks to the Cassini-Huygens mission. The Huygens probe performed a 2.5-hour descent and touched down on a part of Titan that was littered with what is most likely water ice rocks. Huygens gave us the first images of Titan's surface as it passed through the dense upper clouds of that moon. Spacecraft can't peer through the dense layer in the visible spectrum, so Huygens was essential in giving us a look at the moon because once it was underneath those clouds, it had a clear view of the surface. Speaking of the surface of the moon, the temperature at Titan is frigid, in the neighborhood of about negative 290 degrees Fahrenheit or negative 179 Celsius. The Huygens lander was developed by the European Space Agency and was part of the overall Cassini-Huygens mission between NASA and ESA. While the scientific knowledge we gained from the lander is incredible, I think the international collaboration and cooperation needed to pull off an interplanetary landing is just as important. I'd like to echo some of President Kennedy's speech that he gave at Rice University that I talked about in episode 121. Quote, "There is no strife, no prejudice, no national conflict in outer space as yet. Its hazards are hostile to us all. Its conquest deserves the best of all mankind, and its opportunity for peaceful cooperation may never come again." The Cassini-Huygens mission represents the best of what we can achieve, and peaceful cooperation between sovereign nations working towards a common goal of expanding scientific knowledge is a phenomenal goal. As much as the science will be a part of Cassini's legacy, the partnership between nations for this mission will be just as important 50 or 100 years from now. The policy of cooperation on massive scientific undertakings like Cassini bodes well for future missions to other worlds as well. Before I go today, I did want to briefly talk about the first married couple in space. Before the STS-47 mission, astronauts Mark Lee and Jan Davis married in secret, doing so at a point in mission preparations where neither of them could be replaced with backup crew. NASA has had a prohibition against married couples going into space, but ended up allowing Lee and Davis to fly. Who knows if the prohibition on married couples will stay in effect? My best guess, and this is kind of off the cuff here, is that as the private space industry opens up opportunities for spaceflight, NASA could very well end up adopting a new stance on married couples flying on flights together. Check out the show notes for more information on today's episode, and be sure to connect with me on Instagram and Twitter. Find me at John Molnix. I'm always up to chat. Let me know what you think of the show by leaving a rating in iTunes. It takes just a minute to leave a rating, and it makes a huge difference because it helps even more people find the show. I'd also appreciate if you could share the Space Shot with your friends and family and anyone else that enjoys podcasts. Tomorrow, Cassini's mission comes to an end. I'm John Molnix, and I'll catch you on the flip side.